Good evening, everybody. So yeah, today we're going to present our topics. So yeah, the title of our topic is explaining text applying SFL, as you can see on the slides. But before we start the discussion, let me introduce the members of our groups. My name is Ahmad Zakif Adi, student number 44039.
My name is Ilmina Jaya Sukendar, number 052.
My name is Ila Sabrina Aisyah, number 063.
My name is Putra Pradana, number 066.
Alright, hello everyone. I'm Sofian Hanifah with the student number 077.
Okay, so the next is Renida Nurul Azmi, number 41074. So yeah, let's start for this first slide. Okay, so this will be presented by Sabrina.
Alright, thank you, Zaki. So for the first slide is about introduction. This chapter aims to summarize the model that has been present in this book and demonstrate how a systemic approach can be applied in a text analysis. The demonstration involves presenting the results of the comprehensive lexico-grammatical and causal analysis of the three crying baby texts, text 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. Systemic analysis enable us to make explicit how the texts are alike and different, and to relate those patterns to the culture and situational context of which they are the realization. Next.
Okay, so I'll continue with the summary of the model. Firstly, a language is modeled as networks of interconnected linguistic systems. The product of the choices is a text with specific situational configuration of field, mode and tenor or register, cultural conventions or genre, and ideological positions. Language as the three-level semantic system, the semantic unit, is uh, is the focus of choices in ideational, textual, and interpersonal meaning. These semantic choices themselves derived from the need to express context in language and are in turn realized through lexicogrammatical choices, with each semantic dimension relating in a predictable and systematic way to choices from the four simultaneous systems of grammatical structure: mood, transitivity, clause complex, and theme. The function of these units are to describe how language makes meaning simultaneously.
Okay, next I'm gonna read this slide. So yeah, next is descriptive techniques in lexical grammar, and then cohesive analysis, a brief outline of analysis for patterns of reference, lexical relations, and conjunctive relation were provided in chapter 2. Then grammatical analysis, chapter 6, 8, 9, and 10 presented an overview of the semantic and grammatical criteria for identifying the principal functional clause constituents which realize the mode, scientificity, logi, so semantic and theme structures of the clause. And then we have systemic text analysis. So the concept is why a text means what it does. Two pairs of terms can be used to clarify the aims and scope of systemic text analysis. The first one is contrast the interpretation with the explanation of text. Then, second, recognize a distinction between the understanding of a text and its evolutions. So the next will be read by Sophia.
All right, thank you, Zaki, for the time. Then it's about analyzing systemic text. In the linguistic analysis of the text, is not an interpretation of the text, it is an explanation. Why the interpretation of a text would aim to uncover and state what a text means, the systematic analysis of a text aims to uncover and state both text means. But in fact, there is no dichotomy between these terms. Given that a functional semantic perspective defines the meaning of any linguistic item, like a morpheme, clause, or text itself. As that items function in a context of use, it follows that in the very process of demonstrating both text means, we are also in fact laying bare what a text means. And a second important distinction needs to be made between understanding a text and evaluating a text. According to Holiday in 1994, represents this distinction as one of two levels of analysis, with the lower of the two levels, that of understanding, involving the use of linguistics analysis to show how and why the text means what it does. As he points out, uh, this level of understanding should always be attainable given an appropriate functional grammar of text as an analytical tool. Yes, and then the next one is presented by Wahyu.
Okay, thank you, Sophia. So now the next is the analysis of the crying baby. The analysis of the crying baby text is an exercise in contrastive text analysis. The contrastive analysis involves taking texts which are similar in some respects but different in others. And then contrastive analysis offers a relatively easy way into tackling the text analysis because it provides some picture of how an actual text is, but when a relation from a total potential. Patterns of linguistic choice are more easily identified and explained when seen in contrast with other texts, exhibiting patterns that relies on other possible choices. Next, and then the conclusion of from life to text. The analysis of the crying baby text demonstrates that detailed lexical, grammatical, and cohesive analysis can shed light on how text makes meanings, where those meanings come from, and some of the implications they may carry with them. As the capture in this book have shown, a systematic approach requires the detailed, close-up examination of patterns of language. It involves the use of a technical meta-language which gives precise ways of identifying and talking about different cohesive patterns, and also requires an investment of time and effort by the analyst. As learning to carry out linguistic analysis of any kind is a skill that must be worked at. And then the next will be explained by Renita.
Okay, thank you. I will be continue for the last point in this chapter. A functional linguistic approach is demanding because its ultimate goal is very different from that other approaches to text. Functional linguistic analysis is not about offering a range of possible readings of text supported by carefully selected experts. It is about dealing with entire texts in their authentic form, in their actual context of social life, and explaining them, accounting for what they are doing and how they achieve that in the culture. Next. According to Holiday, a red value of a systematic functional approach to language is when they interpret language in these functional semantic terms. We may cast some light on the baffling problem of how it is that the most ordinary use of language in the most everyday situations so effectively transmit the social structure, the values, the systems of knowledge, all the deepness and most persuasive patterns of the culture. From Halliday, the issue in all linguistic analysis is the process by which lived or image experience is turned into text. Text is not life, it is life mediated through the symbolic system of language.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of this presentations, and I'd like to thank for your time and your attentions. If there anyone who has any questions, you can ask us on the outside of this presentations. And yeah, thank you. Have a nice day.